Hi, this is Terrence from Radical Marketing, and with me today is our ads manager, Ann Yong. Today, what we want to share with you is a very interesting process that we use for creating ads. And I'm sure with this, you will see why we can dramatically slash our ad costs compared to a lot of people out there. And we do it really, really fast. Okay, so let's get into it. Let me just quickly share my screen so I can show you exactly what we do from the outset, okay? So this is what we call a hooks test, which we developed in-house. Okay, this system that we developed in-house is that we test like a dozen different hooks at once, or sometimes even more. Sometimes we test 20, sometimes 30, all at once on Facebook to determine which hook or which message is getting the most attention, okay? So as you can see here, this is for a peak performance coach. It's about, all right, this first hook is how entrepreneurs can synchronize their mind, body, and spirit to achieve more profits. And this one, the other hook is about creating this unbreakable Navy SEAL mindset that survives any challenges. So we basically create a whole bunch of these different hooks. As you can see here, there's like 15 of them, right? And we combine that with a generic message in the copy, right? So what we do have here is hook one, and then basically we have all this copy here that's the same. And then hook two with all the same copy, hook three with all the same copy, and so on. And finally, when it comes to the image, what we'll do is we will have a very generic image of the speaker, perhaps just looking at the camera, right? Expressionless most of the time, because we don't want the speaker to connect with any of the hooks because it should be neutral, right? Remember, this is a test. We're not trying to scale here, or we're not trying to get great results here. What we are trying to do is to figure out which hook works the best, all right? So yeah, anything to add to this and to what I just explained?
Nope.
All right, so I hope that's pretty clear. So yeah, most people, what they do is they write one ad or two ads and then test it out, right? So what we want to do here is test a whole bunch of different hooks, whole bunch of different angles to find out what works best in the most fastest possible way so that we can use that to scale our ads later on. So, and let's show them a actual ad account where we have actually used this technique before and the results we got. Just a bit of background, right? This client was getting cost per lead for their webinar at how much?
About 80 something.
80 something ringgit in this case, right? So yeah, so if you want to go through. Thank you so much for watching our video. Just a quick interruption to remind you, if you are watching this on YouTube, to like and subscribe and check out all our other videos on the channel. And if you're checking out this video on our blog post, make sure you check out all the other blog posts on our website. So thank you so much, and back to the rest of the video. The whole setup here, Anne.
Okay, so this is how we basically set up a hook test. One ad set, one ad, and then the cost here, the budget here, set it up at the main goal is to get 1,000 impressions per day, and then we will normally stop at 2,000 impressions. And then if it's a working hook test, we'll just keep it running. So yeah, basically that's how we set up a hook test.
Right. So it's not compulsory to keep it running. I mean, if you're satisfied at 2,000 impressions, and then that should be enough impressions to kind of evaluate which one is giving us the best results, right? I mean, if you're getting like ridiculously cheap leads in any particular one of the ad, then why not keep it running, right? Otherwise, yeah, we just basically stop it. And in this case, what we did is we found a hook that worked, right? So which one worked, Anne? And how did we come to the conclusion that this was the best hook?
Okay, so the best, as you can see that we have set up quite a number of hook tests here, and this one is obviously the best. So there are three main metrics that we look at. So the first one is actually to look at CTRO, and then the second one is click-through rate, CTR click-through rate, and the third metric is to look at the cost per result, of course. So basically, that's how we decide that's the best performing ads compared to all the other ads here.
All right, so CTRO basically is anyone who clicks on any part of the ad, you know, even the see more button and so on. CTR link in this case is basically click-through rate, which means they actually click on the ad and go to the sign up page, right? And then cost per result is just cost per result, right? Cost per lead, cost per sign up. All right, so what we've done here in this case, we figured out that HT2, hook number 2 was the best working one. And then what we did was then basically with that hook, we wrote a full ad based on that hook that's specific for that hook. So remember when I showed you just now, we just had a generic body in the copy, right? And then we had, you know, a whole ton of various hooks. Now that we know which is the winning hook, we extract that hook and write a specific copy tailored for that hook. So that it makes sense, it flows, right? Much better. Because if we use the generic copy, it's not as powerful. So we address a particular pain point, a particular benefit, a particular mechanism, or whatever it is that was outlined in the hook. Like, for example, just now we talked about Navy SEAL. So if that Navy SEAL one worked, then what we would do is to write a whole copy based on that Navy SEAL kind of angle, right? And then run it. So in this case, we use hook 2, right? And then can you show us the results that we got once we wrote a full ad for this hook number 2?
Sure. So here we are basically only running ads on this hook number 2, and this is the result that we got.
Okay, so we dropped it down to 29 ringgit. And remember, the client was getting cost per lead with the other agency at close to 80, 90 bucks compared to 29 here. So, you know, we basically managed to shave the ad costs by what, 60, 70% once again, just by going through this hook test, right? So I think this is a very, very powerful thing, and we don't often share this, but you know, since you guys spend the time to watch it, I just want to make sure that you guys get value from it, and make sure you guys can actually know how to run a proper hooks test so that you can get better results from your ads real quick. Okay. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Anything to add on your side, Anne?
I think you pretty much sum it up all pretty well. So yep, all good.
All right. So yeah, guys, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and like this video. And hopefully, you know, if you give your hooks test a, you know, test run, please let us know in the comments how it went for you. So thank you so much for watching, and thank you, Anne.
Thank you.